It seems that everyone is talking about quiet quitting at the moment. When we think about employee engagement in the United States, whether we're looking in education, higher academic settings, business, nonprofits, healthcare, it's pretty ubiquitous that about 30 to 33% of people within an organization are engaged at any given time. And globally, that statistic is even more dire. We're looking at about 20% engagement in that case, according to the most recent Gallup Workplace Report 2021. So before you do quiet quitting or even consider it, my name is Miranda Walichowski. I am the principal and founder at Miranu Coaching and Consulting, where we specialize in helping people-focused organizations be able to increase their energy, their engagement, their execution so that they can have excellence. And today I want to share 4 steps that you can consider before or as you're contemplating this whole concept of quiet quitting. So the first step is think about who you want to be. So I know you may be going through a difficult situation. Your place of employment may not be the ideal place to be at the moment. However, someday you are going to look back on this experience. And not only that, you will be sharing this experience with someone else. Let's say someone who you're mentoring, or you may be leading someone and giving this an example of a past experience that you had and had to overcome. You may be sharing the story with your children whenever they have their first job or they're going through a similar experience. So you never know. Not only that, these will be stories that you look back on and have as memories yourself. And so it's important to get clear, when I talk about this experience in the future, who do I want to say I was? And most likely, what most people will want to say is that they adhere to their core values, whatever they may be. They'll want to say that they garnered some strength and showed up as their best self despite the circumstances. They'll want to share that somehow they overcame and were able to turn around the circumstances and create something favorable. They'll also probably want to share that they learned, that they grew from this experience. And so keep those in mind as we look at the next 3 steps. Number 2, you'll want to identify the role, the position, or the organization in where you want to work next. So where is that career trajectory taking you? What are the specific experiences, skills, technical skills that you need to have in order to be able to ingress in that role and be successful in that role, to even be considered for that role? And I would invite you to make a list of those and then evaluate, what is something potentially that I'm missing here in my workplace that I can begin to leverage so that I can begin to satisfy some of these skills, experience, technical experience that I need in order to better prepare myself for whatever is next, whether it is a promotion where you are, a different role where you are, or even something in another organization. And so this is the opportunity to leverage maybe something that is unpleasant and create sort of a plan, an exit plan as a part of it, in a way that it's going to serve you better. The third step is talking to your boss, someone in leadership, supervisor, going to them. And so they have stresses that are being imposed upon them as well. And the tendency is, and what I've found in some of the leaders that I've talked to, is that inadvertently, sometimes those pressures that they receive, they tend to pass down to those that they are leading. And they have stresses where they want to succeed and achieve certain goals and have pressure. So a simple question such as, what is something that I can do in my current role that would help move your goals forward? That would help the goals of the team move forward, that would help the goals of our department move forward. And listen carefully and try to align and execute on that. You're going to be greatly appreciated for that. And after you've offered that support, a second question could be along your goals, letting them know, I would like new experiences. I want to lead a project. I want to possibly improve this standard operating procedure. I want to develop some skills or have some training to be able to contribute better in this area and to be able to successfully be able to achieve some of our goals. And so once you've stated and showed interest in moving organizational goals forward and you've begun to contribute to those, then by default, people are going to also want to help you and support you in your goals as well. The next step is then focusing on people. So step 4, focus on people. And so despite whatever may be going on in the organization at the time, if you could support on the clients that you are serving, the customers, the patients, the students, whoever they may be, and invest your energy there and be able to identify your purpose within those individuals, being of service to them, making an impact and a meaningful contribution to them. Your team as well, and so your colleagues, your team members, being able to focus on those, especially the ones that you resonate well with, that enjoy your company and support, and that you enjoy their company and support. And so more of the focus that could be on the people side is going to make your experience there, as you are considering quiet quitting, a lot more pleasant. So why not quiet quit? Before you decide to do so, I'd like you to consider a few things. So one of them is what despair is. So despair is suffering without meaning. And so if you are in a position in your current place of employment where it's not favorable, in order to not despair, having a plan like the one I just presented to you is going to create meaning and momentum and hope, because what you're doing is you're having self-agency, you're creating a plan, and everything that you're doing in turn is very strategic in helping you move forward. So helping you become a better version of yourself, mastering difficult situations, so creating the ability to be resilient, anti-fragile, being 100% responsible for the energy that you're bringing into a room, really leaning into a difficult situation and leveraging and trying to create something better for the future. So lots there that is in terms of potential and learning. Second, we want to avoid collecting negative evidence. And what do I mean by that? Well, our brains are going to be collecting evidence on the things that we do. So our attitudes, behaviors, perceptions, etc. are being registered. They're setting precedents, they're setting patterns of behavior. And if you find yourself in a situation, and what can happen when one does quiet quit, is that they begin to not utilize their skills, their talents, their ability to create, to problem solve, etc. And so then the internal message that might be interpreted is, I don't have these potential skills, I don't have the potential to do these things effectively anymore. We also lose our ability to feel that we are giving meaningful contribution. And over a period of time, when we feel that our work is so tedious and has no meaning, we begin to associate that and assimilate that within ourselves. Is there something wrong with me, etc. And so that's also another dangerous place to be. We also begin to feel like a victim. So a victim means that the circumstances, the context that you are in is repressive, and you feel a sense of futility, like I can't make change, I can't make something happen here. And collecting evidence and precedents with that is also, again, not going to serve you well. So for many reasons, showing up as a lesser version of yourself in order to cope is going to have negative ramifications down the line. I also want you to consider what it might be like to interview for that position you do want, for that role that you do want. And imagine yourself being asked a situation, behavior, outcome type of scenario. You're going to be able to leverage this experience. There's so much richness there. You'll be able to speak of it of, I was once in a role or in a situation where the climate wasn't very favorable, and these are some of the things that I did in order to make the best of it. These are some of the things that I did in order to continue to serve, to have meaningful contributions, to focus on people, to learn and to grow. And there came a point within that period of time that I realized that I wasn't able to make a contribution any longer. I wasn't able to grow any longer. And so therefore, that was my impetus for leaving and being able to be of service, have a different platform for leadership and impact, etc. And so you'll have a wonderful story to tell, one that'll show your resilience, not only your resilience, but your anti-fragility, your ability to be emotionally capable, agile, and to have very strong self-agency. And that's going to be very powerful for you. Lastly, I'd like to think about the aspect of dignity. And so dignity is one of my top core values. And so that's going to be very important to consider. You want to leave in a very dignified way. And how can you have that? Well, when you've done your best, when you know that you confronted the difficult situation, that you looked inward first, what can I do to change, to push back against these circumstances? And you did the best that you could, that's going to be very dignifying. When you've given an honest day's work for an honest day's pay, that's going to be very dignifying. When you were there to be of meaningful contribution and service, and you showed up as your best self for those people that are the clients, the customers, the patients, the students, whomever, and when you gave your best to your colleagues and employees, that's also going to be very dignifying. And so you'll be able to leave without any reproach internally, any reproach externally, because you did the best. You were very mature about creating a plan that served you well and also served the organization well if they were open and willing to see that before you exit. And so that's what I have to share with you. So before or as you are contemplating, as you see all of these conversations about quiet quitting, take a deep breath, take a step back, and look at it. How can you do it in your style, in a way that is going to be authentic to who you are, in a way that is going to help you become a better version of yourself? I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in listening to more content such as this, I'd love to share so much more with you from my experiences in terms of coaching leaders and their teams. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Please, also click on the notification button here in YouTube so that you continue to be informed about subsequent videos. Thank you so much for now, and I wish you well.